Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Anthony Joshua promoter Eddie Hearn says Joshua would love to rematch Dillon White. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Shout out to Sky Sports, link in the description. I got some interesting news, and I'm going to read the quotes first. Again, I will link to the interview from Eddie Hearn with Sky Sports, and then I'm going to give my thoughts. I almost came as Ego Velli because I noticed something, but let me start with the interview. So it caught my eye. Sky Sports posted an interview. Title says White versus Brown, which is coming up this week on HBO. Anthony Joshua wants another brutal battle with Dillon White, says Eddie Hearn. Title of this article, link in the description. So I'm like, okay, and I start reading it, and it says Joshua basically would welcome the idea of a Dillon White too. He loves having a tear up, and he knows Dillon will give him a tear up. Eddie Hearn exclusively told Sky Sports, and I quote, "I know that Anthony Joshua will fight Dillon White again. I think if you asked him and said, tell me one fight in the division you want, he could say Dillon White because he loved it. And he feels as though he wasn't his best because he lost his rag a little bit. But Joshua has improved so much and he loves having a tear up. And he knows Dillon will give him a tear up. He loves the build up. He wants people to go at him at the pressers. AJ, but they seem to lose their bark a little bit when they're in front of him, right? It's a really big fight for the division, and the winner, Wilder and AJ, are looking at this fight and saying the winner is 1,000,000% on my radar, right? The winner of Dillon White and Lucas Brown. All AJ talks about is fighting Dillon White again because he seems to really want to do that. Of course, Lucas Brown is a former world champion who's undefeated, so if he beats Dillon, all of a sudden he's a major player. This, for me, the most important fight and the best fight outside of the championship fights. The winner is going to be #1 in the WBC because Dillon already is. He's going to be top 5 in every governing body, and you're there, right? He goes on to say, I would like him to fight Wilder still. I think that if Joshua didn't fight Wilder next and we had our August fight, then we could do Dillon against Wilder. Everybody wants to see AJ versus Wilder. It's difficult, but I would like to see Dillon get a shot at a world title before he gets AJ. Listen, I'm just gonna say it, man, man, I might have to do a live stream on this. This is getting utterly ridiculous. The contradictions, there's no other way to put it, from Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. I don't know if they should have a sit-down meeting, Barry Hearn, Eddie Hearn, AJ, the coach, but this sounds crazy. Now, some of you, what are you talking about, Ego? I'm going to explain. Listen to what Eddie Hearn is saying about a guy he represents. I know that Joshua will fight Dillon White again, no biggie. But then he says, if you ask him who he wants to fight in the division, it would be Dillon White. Before AJ was a champion, he already beat Dillon White. So once again, why is there whole articles talking about a rematch? Dillon White has to, on HBO and Sky Sports, get past Lucas Brown. And Eddie Hearn, he did briefly mention Wilder at the very end of this interview, right? He says everybody wants to see AJ versus Wilder. It's difficult. But I would like to see Dillon get a shot at the world title before he fights AJ. So once again, Eddie Hearn is telling us that the fight with Joshua and Wilder, even if Joshua gets past Parker, there's a chance that it's probably not going to happen. You know what I mean? I don't know the percentage, but throwing out Gerald Big Baby Miller at Barclays in Brooklyn and AJ coming to the States for that fight, saying that if Dillian White gets past Lucas Brown, you want to see him get a title shot. Well, if Joshua unifies with Joseph Parker, guess what? The only other person with the title is Deontay Wilder. So it seems, and the walls are closing in, it seems to me that Eddie Hearn is very content stringing this along, because he's basically trying to throw Dillian White, if he gets past Lucas Brown, back on Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder just beat Luis Ortiz, who was ranked higher than Dillian White up until he failed the drug test or whatever, and then he got it cleared, and then they put him behind Dillian White. Facts, and that's with the WBC. He said, I would like him to fight Wilder still. I think that if Joshua didn't fight Wilder next, why wouldn't he? And we had our August fight, then we could do Dillon against Wilder. Once again, stop using Dillian White as a pawn for Wilder to have to go through another obstacle to unify. An obstacle that Dominic Breazeale, Charles Martin, you know what I mean, Eric Molina, Klitschko coming off a lot. No one else had to go through Dillian White to prove their worth or prove their UK stand-up star power. Man, this is not making sense to me. But it gets worse if you really break down the rhetoric, break down what people are saying. Study why I would be mad, right? Obviously he's gonna pump Dillian White versus Lucas Brown because that's his fight and it's coming up. I don't have no problem with that. But he also says, let me get to the quote. He says, but he's improved so much, which Joshua has improved since he first fought Dillian White. And he was basically saying he fought a little bit off emotions because he did get hurt in maybe the second or third round. He says, AJ loves the buildup. He wants people to go at him at the pressers. AJ, but they seem to lose their bark a little bit when they're in front of him. Now, this statement right there is perhaps one of the most incriminating, and everybody who's coming on my channel and saying, oh, Ego, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're hating and stuff, explain this. I'm gonna read it again. AJ loves the buildup. He wants people to go at him at the pressers, AJ, but they seem to lose their bark a little bit when they're in front of him. Now, guess what? There's one person who thus far we have not seen lose his bark, and that's Deontay Wilder. Yet Sky Sports, the same people that are conducting this interview with Eddie Hearn, interviewed AJ, and he specifically just said, before this interview dropped, he specifically said, AJ said that he does not want Deontay Wilder to get in the ring, even if he beats Joseph Parker, because it's fake hype. It's not real. He has to see a contract in place, a deal in place. That's how it went with Klitschko. And if there ain't a signed contract, then it's a waste of time and it's just hype. But then you have his promoter, Eddie Hearn. He's saying AJ loves the buildup. So why not do a face-off in the ring? What better way to build something up than to see two anticipated guys who are going to potentially fight do a face-off after one of the guys wins their fight? You know what I mean? He's sweaty and he's holding all his belts and doing photos, and then you see Wilder jump in and say his piece, right? And he says he wants, this is what Eddie Hearn is saying, he wants people to go at him at the pressers. But AJ just told the world that he doesn't want Wilder to get in the ring. And he's saying some people lose their bark a little bit when they're in front of him. But Wilder hasn't shown that. He hasn't tucked his tail. And if anything, AJ is the one that says he doesn't want him to jump in the ring. So either way, this is not making sense. And this is a terrible look, because you have discord and you have the fighter and the promoter who are saying conflicting things. And once again, bringing up a fight, the Dillian White fight, if he beats Lucas Brown, that's cool. But we've already seen that. We've already watched that one time. You know what I mean? And he's trying to throw Dillian White back on Wilder, even though he was saying that Luis Ortiz was dangerous, and he signed Luis Ortiz for a fight-by-fight basis, so he knows how good Luis Ortiz is. You know what I mean? And now it's back to the basics. I'm telling you guys, man, like if this Joshua Wilder doesn't happen next, if he gets past Parker, then you already know what time it is. So I'm gonna reserve judgment. You guys read the article, but there's a lot of questions that aren't making sense. Eddie Hearn, the promoter, saying AJ loves a good tear up. Okay, Wilder will give you a good tear up. You know what I mean? It's a massive fight. It's a tear up. It's a commissary. Like all of that, right? Oh, he loves a good build up. He loves when people go at him in the pressers, but no one seems to, they tuck their tail and no one seems to, you know what I mean? Monkeys can't look the lion in the face type attitude. But Wilder's never tucked his tail. He's never been a stranger to words. You know what I mean? You love a good build-up, but you told Wilder don't get in the ring unless it's a signed contract. This is crazy. This is unrealistic. I can't wait to hear what the people that said, oh, Ego, you're hating and all this on my live stream. I can't wait to hear what you guys come up to counter this. Checkmate. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.